What are the 3 best stretches that you can do to keep your body safe and healthy and help you get the most out of rowing? For those new to the channel, I'm Austin with Training Tall, and I'm 6'8", but Training Tall is all about giving you the tips, tricks, and strategies to help you take your fitness and health above the average no matter how tall you are. And today we're going to talk about the best stretches that you can do for rowing. Just 3 stretches. If you were to choose 3, which ones would you choose? And we're going to use a little bit of physiology and just the rowing stroke mechanics to help us figure that out. And we know that rowing is one of the best total body exercises out there. However, there is risk for injury depending on your form and depending on your body's flexibility and mobility. We need to make sure that we are taking care of our muscles outside of our rowing to keep ourselves safe and healthy for our whole lives. So when it comes to the rowing stroke, what are the main muscle motions that allow us to take a good, proper, and efficient rowing stroke? Well, if we start here at the finished position, as we come out for the stroke, the first thing we want to do is get our arms out and lean our body forward. We need to hinge at the hips. So this hip hinge position, that's stretching out the hamstrings. And if you're lacking flexibility in your hamstrings, then you're not going to be able to get that hinge forward safely. And especially if this muscle group is tight, that's what encourages our back to round and just doesn't allow us to set up for a good hinge forward that we should be getting during that first half of the stroke. And so the first stretch that I recommend is the elevated single leg hamstring stretch. Now, why elevated? Why single leg? Well, if you take a seat on the ground and you just try to reach for your toes, then if your hamstrings are a tight muscle group in general, it's going to be really hard for you to get that proper stretch without rounding your back excessively. And this can cause strain on your lower back and prevent you from really feeling the stretch where you want to feel the stretch. And so by getting one leg up on a chair, this allows you to hinge over safely, keeping your back more in a neutral position and allows you to really feel that hamstring stretch. Keeping your leg as straight as you can, trying to hinge over, even if it's only a small range of motion, and holding that stretch for 20 to 60 seconds on each leg is a great way to help lengthen out those hamstring muscles, which is going to help you more effectively get that body hinge over for the rowing stroke. And so after we've gotten the arms extended and the body leaned forward, the next part of the rowing stroke is the leg compression as we come up to the catch. Now, the optimal leg compression that we look for the most part, is knees over ankles. And as we do that, that requires flexibility in our quadricep muscles in order to close that angle between your thigh and your lower leg, but also calf flexibility to keep the majority of your foot planted. As you go knees over ankles, it's okay if your heels lift a little bit as long as you can drive most of your rowing force through the midfoot. However, if your calves are extremely tight, you might notice that you have to come up onto your toes to get that knees over ankles compression. So what we need to practice is a stretch that helps us to lengthen out our quadricep muscles, but also stretch out our ankles as well. And the stretch I recommend for that is the toe squat hold. Now, if you're new to this stretch, you might want to get a chair or a bench or something to hang on to, but essentially you're going to try to sink yourself as low as you possibly can onto a squat, but not worrying about keeping your feet totally planted. In fact, shifting your weight towards the midfoot and toes and trying to sink your weight back onto the heels without your heels touching. What this does is this helps you to stretch out your Achilles tendon while also stretching out your quadricep muscles as well due to that low squat. And even though the general cue is not to squat on your toes, we have to remember we're not doing repetitions with this exercise and we're not bearing any other weight other than our body weight. We're just looking for that quadricep and ankle stretch. Hold that stretch for 20 to 60 seconds, and you're gonna really feel your quadriceps and your ankles lengthen out, which is gonna help you better compress knees over ankles while keeping a majority of your foot planted. And so now we've covered the motion of coming up for a rowing stroke, and now we just need to keep in mind, what is rowing doing to our body? Well, because we're constantly hinging and swinging, we are getting a lot of work done on our lower back. And because rowing is such a repetitious exercise, we want to make sure that with our stretching, we take care of our lower back and our shoulders to keep them safe, to keep them healthy, so we can keep rowing every single day. And so the final stretch that I recommend is the child's pose stretch. What is awesome about this is a great way to help stretch out the muscles of your lower back, but also with your arms and shoulders as well. And as a bonus, when you point your toes directly behind you, you're also getting a stretch on the tops of your feet as well, because sometimes the muscles on top of your feet can get tight if you're doing super short, super explosive fast rows, where you sometimes rely on your foot straps to pull your body up quickly. So when you set up for this, just make sure you spread your knees a little bit wider than your hips, keep your feet close together, and again, those toes pointed back, and sink your butt back and down and extend your arms out. Try to spread your fingers and push the ground away from you. And you're gonna feel that sweet relief throughout your spine. You're gonna feel it in the ankles, in the shoulders, in the arms, and it's one of the best stretches that you can do. So we've got the hamstring stretch, we've got the toe squat hold, and we've got the child's pose. Those are the 3 best stretches that you can do to help you get a good, proper, efficient rowing stroke, but also take care of your body with all the rowing that you do, because rowing is super repetitious and it's working a lot of your body, and a lot of good form is required to keep yourself safe. So I know it's a lot to think about, but I highly encourage that you throw these stretches into the mix as a post-workout cool down. Again, spending 20 to 60 seconds with each of these stretches, 1 to 3 rounds through. It's only gonna do your body good. And remember, if you're looking for daily mobility and flexibility guided workouts with me, you can check those out over on my online training platform, Hit Plus. I also sell rowing ebooks as well. They're linked down in the description if you're looking for rowing training plans. And if you're interested in more in-depth, more personal vlog style videos from me, you can check out my separate channel. It's all linked down in the description. But I hope these stretches can help you out. I hope they do wonders for your training and for your rowing. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. Leave a like if you like the video. Be sure to subscribe for more fitness and rowing content as well. It means the world to me. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next video.